Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you discover improv. You feel like you can't get back into improv now that you've got it away from it?
Yeah, I don't know how much you still do improv. I know you did it in college. But
Yeah, so
I
I do it a lot now.
oh
I love it
good.
still. I fell out
I
of love with it for a little bit, but then it was like, oh, like I need this in my life. Like
Why did you not like it anymore? What about it wasn't appealing anymore?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like so I want to make an actual like video about this, but I think there's like I don't know. I think your conceptualization of yourself changes over time as you grow up, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And I think when you're doing improv and making jokes about stuff on when you're young, it's like uh, it's all good, right? It's like you're not self-aware enough to be like, oh, I should be embarrassed, like when I go bark like a dog on a stage in front of people,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
like and then it's like a huge part of your mind becomes self-aware, and it's like, oh fuck, like that's actually a shameful action, you know, like to go do that and embarrass myself. Um,
Yes.
and then like, but then you start coming back around, right? Because it's like, okay, like it is quote unquote shameful. Some people would be embarrassed by that. But if I choose to not be embarrassed by that, then that is actually cooler than fucking not barking like a dog, you know?
Yes. Yes. I'm so on board. And that's like exactly why I feel like I couldn't go back and do it now is I think I would be so self-conscious the whole time of like, is what I'm saying funny? Is what I'm saying funny? Like, am I being funny right now? Like, is how funny I am outweighing how embarrassing it is that I'm an adult doing improv? Like that to me is like like if you can't guarantee that, I don't know, like just the thought of me, a 22-year-old, inviting my friends to come see my adult improv show with like a huge like group of strangers and having it be really bad. And this is also coming off the fact that I went on a really awkward Tinder date once to an improv show.
Ooh,
That
yeah,
was
you told me about that.
yes, because it was crazy. And then there was like a rock concert at the end. That was a wild, and it cemented that I should not go back to doing adult improv.
Yeah, I I think you should. I mean, I'm biased since I moved to Atlanta
Yeah.
like a year ago, and I started. I was like, because like I wanted to get on a team, and it was like they were basically like, you know, the best way to get on a team. They were like, I went to like a jam, and like it was I hadn't really done improv in like 3 or 6 months, and so like I was kind of shitty and like not that funny, and so like they were like, you know, you should really take classes, and I was like, okay, I've been doing this
You're
for
like,
like
I'm sorry, I was an improv officer at FM high school for like 2 years. So
well, I mean, you say that, but it's like I've literally I've done it since 2010, right? That's when we started doing it. So it's like it's
yeah.
been fucking 10 years, and I'm gonna start
Oh
at
my
level
God.
one.
I would have loved to see your face when they said you should take classes.
But
I
like
can just imagine you being like,
But you're never. I mean, you know, that's the other thing. It's like you're. It's such a stupid thing to be like. Actually, I'm great at this, and it's like
yeah,
so. You know, I did. I took level one, and I absolutely loved it, right? And I would do it again in
yeah.
a heartbeat. Like
And you
it was
smoked
so great.
everyone in the class.
No, not okay. Well, there's always the other thing about improv that I love is that there's always something new that you can learn, right? Even if you learned it in level one years and years ago, right? It still holds true, right?
Hmm.
And so when you revisit it the next time, even if it's 10 years later, then I don't know. I'm a big nerd. I love improv. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean me. That's okay. Why I loved it in high school was like it was so much fun, and like I loved that you would some. I loved honestly like one of my favorite things about being an officer was watching new people and watching someone realize they're good at improv,
Yeah.
or like watching someone do a scene and not knowing that they're being funny. Like, because I mean, because it is like such an improv thing. Like when you are like really trying to be the funny one, like
Yeah.
you just kind of look like an asshole. And I remember there were so many times I still remember certain scenes really clearly where I was like, oh my gosh, like this like freshman when I was like a senior, like does not know how funny they're being, and like it is just so awesome to watch someone realize that they're like good at that, you know?
Yeah, definitely.